Bob at Vintage Lambo saying hello again, and let's talk about another topic, and that's throw-out bearings. So for this particular transmission, this is going to go in an early car. So as you can see, it's an assembly. When you buy a bearing for it, you're just going to get a bearing. That's it. So what you need to do is press this apart without damaging anything and then put it back together. That's all you got to do. So let me go ahead and do some step-by-step and we'll talk about it. Okay, let's see if this wants to come out on my press without going hydraulic. I like this type of press because it gives you a very good feel on what's going on. So we're going to support it like this, and I'm going to reutilize this. This is what for the distributor seal and whatnot. I just try and reutilize some tools if they fit. Well, let's try and make them work. So without getting into the camera way, all right. Okay, that seems like success to me. So let's just go ahead and pull this guy out. All right, so we've got this main piece is now off. That's great. This will get a real big cleanup on here. It needs it. And then also now we have to concentrate. How are we going to get this bearing out? And I mean by bearing out without damaging this outside collar. Okay, well that's the next step. Okay, time for a frivolous or maybe not so frivolous video. What the heck am I doing? I've got a hunk of steel in here and I'm cutting. What am I doing here? So that's the question. What am I doing? I'm making a tool, but what is it? Okay, any guesses now? What am I doing? I'm not trying to mislead or take you down the wrong path, but what can I be making? I've switched to a collet, and now I'm going from the other side. I can only take off just a little at a time because this is steel and this is a small lathe. So it's pretty much 20 thousandths, 20 thousandths, 20, oh, forever. So this is a bit time consuming, so we'll find out what goes on a little bit later. All right, so now I'm going to trim this, and I want to bring it down to about 3 millimeters, so that's going to be the next step. But again, I'm just going to do it, and then I'll get back with you soon. Okay, now the dreaded part is cutting this in half. No, I don't recommend this, but I'm going to give it a go and see if I can do a fairly good cut here. So let's find out what happens. You know, you got to utilize the tools that you have. Action-packed all the time. So seems to be cutting okay at the moment. Of course, I'm going to have to shift the clamp, so I'll be shifting the clamp soon, but I'm going to get through the majority of the hard part, and then we'll do a little adjustment. Okay, a little shift in the action. I think things are working out pretty well. So a little adjustment of the clamps, and crossing my fingers. Wow, better than I thought. Everything went very smooth, rock steady, almost coming through the last bit of it. Nice. Wow. Finally, some good luck. Okay, I surprised myself. This came out better than I thought. Oh, that's terrific. Okay, onwards to the next step. Okay, and I'm just going to just for being nice, I'm just going to give it a little bit of a massage right here. Okay, so this is going to be supporting the bearing the bearing with the cover so that we can support it while we press it out. So, okay, so that's going to go in there, and then we're going to press this out, and that's what the other tool's for. All right. Okay, so we're back here. I have the casting piece off, and now I need to get the actual bearing off of this cover. So I need to make sure I take things off so I don't damage them. So I came up with these goodies here, as you saw in the previous clips, and this will come in here, kind of expand out a bit, and then I have a round that I machined so that it can go in there and spread these guys. Okay, so then I went ahead and I made this fixture so that the bearing can drop down, and then also this can cup this guy, and it just cups it. Okay, so I'm going to reposition and then press it out, hopefully. Okay, hang on a second. Not the best position for viewing. This is just what I got. I'm kind of cramped in this area where I have this. So we're gonna put a collar over here, and then we're gonna use our mechanical press and see about not being too hard on it, and it comes out pretty easy. All right, came out pretty smooth. That's what I want, smooth. Okay, so this is our collar right here, so that'll be cleaned up. This is not going to be used on the 350 like the previous video. This is an Espada piece, so that is not going back onto the car. What we're going to do is, this 350 is running a Espada transmission, so we're going to run the factory flat cup because we're running the 350 clutch pressure plate. Okay, so all these goodies come down. Let's hope that the bearing comes out easy, just for fun. Whoops, and of course you always have to drop something. And there's the old bearing. Okay, so we're going to do a little switcheroo here. We need this flat for the 350, so we're going to take it off of this one. That one was on there pretty darn good. Woo! Okay, so let's get that off. Okay. All right, so that goes off to the side. Now we're going to line up our other goodie with this one. Okay, for giggles, because this has a different shape, different clutch, this diameter in here is smaller, and I had to come in with that special tooling to get it out. Well, look, the earlier model has a larger hole here, so I'm able then to come in with this guy that I made, and let me put something on top of that guy. And now let's go ahead and push this bearing out. Now the bearings are the same, no problem. So all I need to do is take this bearing out. I'm going to clean up all this, put the new bearing in, the casting, and away we go. So, all right. Okay, so that's the inside of this guy. A little bit different but still takes the same bearing as the other one. All right, perfect. Okay, big cleanup on this, then reassemble, and my gosh, the throw-out bearing will be in good shape. Okay, you've probably guessed, what do we need? More tools. So now we are at the stage we want to put it together. I've got my flat facing piece here. Now I am going to reuse a tool. Woohoo! So I'm going to put this guy in, and we're going to try to keep everything as flat as possible. I have my new bearing that I want to put on here, and I want to put this thing on and go down straight. So what do I have? I have a new tool. So I machined the inside, so I'm only going to be touching the outer rim of the bearing. I don't want to affect anything as far as the balls go. Let me, I need to recock this thing. Get in your way. Sorry. As usual. So I'm going to put this guy on top. And then I'm going to put something else up here. I know this is not the best camera angle. I'm sorry about that. That doesn't look too awesome either. I'll try and give you a little bit more view. All right, so let's go down. And I'm going to try and make sure that everything is centered. I want this centered, everything centered. I want to be centered because I want to push this in with no problems, okay? Please, no problems. Okay, so now we have the new bearing installed. And now we're going to go to the next part. We need to press in the casting. Well, I think we're getting towards the end here. So what we have here is the casting portion. It's been dolled up and cleaned up and all that good stuff. And then we need to put the bearing and cup unit onto it. And how are we going to do that now? Because we need a tool that also has a relief here. It's going to go on here, and I think I'll put this little guy up here. And the whole idea is that I need to make sure that everything is from the start as level as possible. Oh, I should have gotten my little teeny level, but I think I can probably do it by eye. That's looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. All right, and again, let's try this mechanical press out. Now let's get everything centered as possible, everything that we can. Center this. Okay, everything looks right. Let's see if we can go for it. Looks like I felt the bottom. Give it a little extra for goodness. Oh my gosh, brand new bearing. The correct cup that's on the cap, that's correct now. We've got it set up. We've got the 3-finger clutch with the flat throw-out bearing. Perfect. All right. Now it's installed. Now it has the proper throw-out bearing for the clutch it has. Now I'm going to have to do a relocation of the arm because they put this transmission in and then the throw-out bearing wasn't correct, and they adjusted it for an incorrect throw-out bearing cup. So I will do that when I mount it onto the engine out of the car so that I can get the proper geometry back again the way it should be for this type of transmission onto a 350 engine.